MAGA is weirdly excited about the fact that that idiot, that drunk fool, didn't actually leak the plans to bomb Iran. As if that's amazing and worthy of praise. Nick Sortor tweeted, according to Fox Pentagon reporter, in my 18 years at the Pentagon, I've never seen such operational security. There were no leaks. Nobody's speaking about this. A complete blackout on information about Iran at the Pentagon for the last few days. Great job, Hegseth. And then others are like, it's almost like he's fully qualified for his job. Senator Duckworth could never not like tweet out the plans to a war, could never not add a reporter. Hegseth is the only person who's ever done that. It's almost as if he's fully qualified. Well, yes, if you believe that not adding reporters to your signal group is the only qualification, then yes, I suppose he's fully qualified. But AOC hit it first and best, saying this is like applauding a grown man for being able to wipe their behind. Not exactly a vote of confidence. That's because Todd Starnes of Fox says, not a single leak. Well done, Secretary of Defense. That's the bare minimum. That is just a participation trophy as a tweet. That's all that is. The bar has been lowered so much. They said they're finally gonna get adults. And I understand that Hegseth does say the word warfighter a lot. He says it so many times, so I guess I should be nice to him. Clearly he knows what he's doing, but this is the extent of our expectations for them. Utterly ridiculous, JR, what do you think?
There's a shirt that my wife has, and it says, "Lord, please grant me the confidence of a mediocre straight white man." And it couldn't be on more display than this entire administration. These pats on the heads for drunk ass, for him to make sure oh man, at least you didn't leak it on signal, bro. Good job, PD. PD, you do great, bro. I'm glad you finally are qualified for the job of Secretary of Defense because things weren't leaked about an attack that the guy said he didn't know anything about the moment that it happened before they then switched and said that he was all about it. The guy right before it happened, when he said, we don't want this to happen. And then after it happened says, yeah, I was all for it. There's no need for any leaks about what he didn't know what he was gonna do. The guy talks to the media all the time. That's what you guys also give that dumb credit for as well too. And when he talks to the media all the time, he says contradictory things. He talks about hypocritical positions that he would have on things like this. So they're very transparent of their stupidity. And after we see it on full display, then the spin becomes, look how smart and great these idiots are. Isn't the qualifications to be the Secretary of Defense is to not leak when you're about to attack another country that you said you weren't going to attack. That's the qualifications for being Secretary of Defense. Outside of the fact that we started this war that they promised that they would never start. Outside of the fact that he's had these multiple, we haven't even seen the other things that he's leaked and talked about, that the people around him that were actually against going to more wars were fired. They were kicked out around him, and he actually didn't want that to happen. What a great position this guy is, and he has some total control over the Department of Defense.
Related to this, by the way, and I totally agree. Maybe get a version of the shirt that's like, give me the confidence of a drunk white man, actually, in the case of Hegseth. But I just remembered a story that we mentioned, I think it was on Friday, maybe on Thursday, that Hegseth had been like iced out of conversations and planning about what they were gonna do. Maybe that wasn't that Trump disagrees with him. After all, Hegseth has wanted war with Iran for a long time. Maybe that was just so that he wouldn't leak it. Like, we can't afford him. I really love this guy. But he's just gonna immediately start tweeting people about it. Maybe that's the reason. And by the way, in terms of like no sign being given or whatever, like there was the movement of planes and everything. There was the 2-week thing, which we gave you the possible explanations of it. And did that potentially clue Iran in that something was coming? Well, look, there's a lot that we don't know for sure, but there is very good reason to believe that they moved a bunch of their material away from at least 2 of the sites that were targeted, perhaps because they had picked up that it was coming. And by the way, it's not even on Hegseth in this case. The fact that Donald Trump started parroting the idea that Iran was weeks away from having a nuclear weapon, and when he was asked about our intelligence saying they don't, he's like, well, then I don't believe them. I mean, this guy is like clearly signaling that he has bought into this whole thing. The idea that Trump, who's been terrified of nukes his entire life, now has convinced himself against all evidence that Iran is gonna have a nuke and he's not gonna bomb them. I mean, that was probably all the signal the Iranian regime needed.